The Floor, the Cake, and the Beagle. An untold story of Harry and Meghan. In the sprawling, often contentious narrative surrounding the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, stories are typically painted in stark contrasts: loyalty versus betrayal, tradition versus modernity, privacy versus publicity. Yet sometimes the most revealing portrait emerges not from the grand statements or televised interviews, but from a quiet, almost forgotten vignette. The story of Meghan's Beagle, Guy, a pioneering surgeon, and a simple cake shared on a clinic floor, is one such moment. It's a story that bypasses the media noise to show a glimpse of Harry and Meghan's private world during one of their most scrutinised periods, revealing a core of unvarnished humanity. To understand the weight of this moment, we must return to 2017. Meghan Markle was living in Toronto, filming the final seasons of Suits. Her relationship with Prince Harry was the subject of a global media frenzy, a daily barrage of speculation and intrusion. Amidst this suffocating spotlight, a personal crisis unfolded. Her beloved rescue beagle, Guy, a constant companion from her pre-royal life, escaped and was found seriously injured with 2 broken front limbs. In a panic, Meghan placed a transatlantic call to the only person she believed could help, Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, the celebrated orthopedic veterinary surgeon known as the Super Vet. Professor Fitzpatrick recounted this story with poignant clarity. "Meghan rang me from Canada to say Guy, her beagle, had escaped and had been found with 2 busted wrists. Would I operate?" He agreed, but the surgery required his specialised facilities in England. Without hesitation, Meghan arranged for Guy to be flown across the Atlantic. This act itself is telling. At a time when every move was dissected, this was a purely private mission of love, executed away from the cameras. It was a decision driven not by protocol, but by the urgent, universal desire of a pet owner to save a family member. The surgery was a success, but it's the aftermath that Professor Fitzpatrick held onto as his defining memory of the couple. He sets the scene with disarming simplicity. The Duke and Duchess sat on the floor. We had cake. Guy was fixed. Let's sit with that image. This was not a staged engagement or a formal visit. Prince Harry and his then-fiancée, surrounded by the unimaginable pressure of their impending royal future, chose to sit on the floor of a veterinary clinic. They shed all titles and pretension. The shared cake was not a prop for a photo op. It was a symbol of shared relief, of normalcy, and of genuine gratitude. In this unscripted moment, Fitzpatrick didn't see a prince and a future duchess. He saw 2 worried individuals, bonded in their care for a vulnerable creature they loved. This intimacy was bookended by grace. Recently, following dear Guy's peaceful passing in January of this year at an old age, Professor Fitzpatrick received what he described as a wonderful note of gratitude from Meghan. This follow-up, sent in the midst of her own grief, underscores the authenticity of their relationship with him. It wasn't a transactional thank you from a staffer. It was a personal, timely acknowledgement from a woman who never forgot the kindness that gave her years more with her loyal friend. So why does this quiet anecdote resonate so powerfully? Because it acts as a clarifying lens, focusing on the values that persist beneath the headlines. First, it highlights Guy's role as a living touchstone to Meghan's authenticity. He was with her before the fame, through her life in the United States and Canada. His presence at their engagement photos, looking dapper in a bow tie, and later, trotting through the grounds of Frogmore Cottage and then to their new life in North America, symbolised a thread of continuity. Saving him was an act of preserving a part of her true self amidst a life that was being radically rewritten. Second, the story illuminates a fundamental shared value for Harry and Meghan, a genuine, compassionate connection to animals. This was not for show. Harry's lifelong work with African conservation charities and their shared advocacy for animal welfare find their private echo in this moment on the clinic floor. Their comfort there was not a performance, it was a reflection of their character. Professor Fitzpatrick, an outsider with no stake in royal narratives, became an accidental witness to this core trait, consistently describing them as down-to-earth and caring. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the story underscores the profound dissonance between their private reality and the public narrative in 2017. While tabloids obsessed over wedding details and manufactured drama, Harry and Meghan were navigating a real personal emergency with quiet dignity and profound gratitude. The cake on the floor moment stands in stark opposition to the relentless, difficult, or demanding tropes often assigned to them. It shows a couple capable of creating a bubble of normalcy and grace, even under the most extraordinary circumstances. In the end, the tale of Guy's surgery is more than a charming pet story. It is a verified, third-party account that cuts through layers of polemic. It needs no spin or interpretation. It simply shows us that at a specific point in time, two of the world's most famous people chose to sit on a hard floor, share a simple dessert with a vet, and express thanks for the life of a small dog. It is a story not about royalty, but about humanity. A reminder that behind the history, the controversy, and the fame, acts of love, grief, and gratitude remain the most universal and telling stories of all.